Have you ever looked at your wardrobe, picked up a pair of sneakers that were once your absolute favorite, the ones that traveled countless paths with you, only to find them uncomfortably tight now? Sometimes that feeling isn't limited to physical shoes. It seeps into environments, relationships, or communities that once embraced and supported you. A place that was once home, a sanctuary, now feels constricting, stifling. Why do we no longer feel like we belong in a place that was once home? This is a question many of us will face it at least once in our lives. It's not a sign of instability, but a natural part of our growth and evolution. This article will help you recognize, accept, and confront this natural shift within yourself as you journey through life. Why you no longer fit where you used to belong. The feeling of no longer belonging can be incredibly unsettling. It's like discovering that a cherished, perfectly tailored garment no longer fits. It pinches, restricts, and ultimately feels alien to your body. This discomfort often seeps into the very fabric of our lives, our environments, relationships, and communities that once offered comfort, identity, and support. A job that once sparked passion, friendships that felt like family, or a community that was a sanctuary. They all once felt like home, but now that sense of belonging has withered, leaving behind a feeling of constriction, suffocation, and profound mismatch. This profound shift isn't a sign of personal failing or instability. Rather, it's a natural, often inevitable, part of our human journey of growth and evolution. Just as our physical selves change over time, so do our minds, values, aspirations, and our very sense of purpose. Understanding the dynamics behind this disconnection is crucial for navigating it with clarity and self-compassion. The feeling of no longer belonging often stems from profound changes, both within us and in our surroundings. 1. Your inner growth has changed you, the unfolding self. Imagine yourself as a burgeoning plant. In its early stages, a small pot provides adequate space and nourishment. But as it matures, its roots deepen, its stem strengthens, and its leaves unfurl, demanding more light, more nutrients, and more room to expand. This inherent drive for growth is mirrored within us. We are not static beings. We are in a constant state of learning, adapting, and transforming. This internal evolution is often the primary catalyst for feeling out of place. Expanded perspectives and new knowledge, the mind's evolution, every new experience you encounter, every insightful book you read, every challenging conversation you engage in, and every different culture you immerse yourself in contributes to a profound widening of your perspective. These new inputs act as catalysts, challenging old assumptions, dissolving outdated beliefs, and fostering a richer, more nuanced understanding of yourself and the world around you. For example, perhaps you once measured success purely by external metrics like wealth or status. However, after a significant life event, a period of deep self-study, or exposure to different ways of living, you might begin to prioritize intrinsic values like inner peace, the pursuit of creative expression, or making a positive ethical impact on the world. When your internal compass reorients in this way, the superficial conversations, or purely materialistic pursuits of your old environment can begin to feel hollow, unfulfilling, and even jarring. You might find yourself searching for dialogue that goes beyond pleasantries, for content that stimulates your intellect, and for connections that delve into the profound questions of existence. This shift isn't a conscious decision to separate. It's an organic consequence of your intellectual and experiential expansion. Evolving values and priorities, the heart's redirection. Our values serve as the fundamental compass guiding our life choices and interactions. What resonated deeply with you at 20 might feel utterly incongruous at 30 or 40. For instance, early in life, security and conformity might have been paramount, driving your choices in career, relationships, and lifestyle. However, over time, you might discover that autonomy, authenticity, personal freedom, or contributing to a cause greater than yourself have become your guiding stars. When your core values undergo such a profound transformation, and your old community or social circle continues to operate on principles you no longer subscribe to, perhaps they thrive on gossip, judgment, or maintaining a superficial facade, a fundamental disconnect emerges. This isn't about one set of values being inherently better than another. It's simply about divergence. You find yourself increasingly seeking environments and relationships that are built upon integrity, mutual respect, and a genuine alignment of what truly matters. The dissonance between your evolving personal creed and the prevailing ethos of your former home becomes increasingly noticeable and uncomfortable. Deeper emotional, intellectual, and existential needs, the soul's hunger. As we mature and gain more life experience, our appetite for depth often intensifies. We move beyond surface-level interactions and begin to crave meaningful connections, intellectually stimulating discussions, and purposeful engagement that resonates with our evolving understanding of life's bigger questions. Small talk, once an acceptable social lubricant, can become incredibly draining. Gossip feels trivial and often destructive. Relationships that lack genuine emotional intimacy or intellectual curiosity begin to feel empty, leaving you with a sense of unfulfilled longing. You might find yourself yearning for philosophical debates, profound discussions about the human condition, or creative collaborations that stretch your mind and spirit. If your old environment primarily offers casual chatter, short-term goals, or remains trapped in a cycle of familiar routines without deeper exploration, it simply won't be able to fill this burgeoning void within your soul. Your soul starts to hunger for substance, for meaning, for connection that transcends the mundane. The pursuit of authenticity, the core's call. At some point in our personal development, often after periods of introspection or significant life transitions, many of us reach a critical juncture where the yearning to be our true, unadulterated selves becomes an overwhelming imperative. We grow weary of wearing masks, suppressing our true thoughts and feelings, or constantly conforming to external expectations just to fit in. This awakening to our authentic self is a powerful, transformative force. When this inner call becomes undeniable, any environment where you feel you cannot genuinely be yourself begins to feel profoundly suffocating. It becomes a constraint on your very being, a cage rather than a sanctuary. The dissonance between who you authentically are and who you feel you must be in that particular space becomes unbearable. This isn't just about discomfort. It's a deep-seated feeling of integrity being compromised, a quiet erosion of self that eventually cries out for liberation. 2. Your surroundings haven't changed or have changed differently. The diverging paths. Change isn't exclusive to our inner world. It's a constant in the external environment as well. However, problems inevitably arise when you're in a state of rapid transformation, but the people, places, or institutions around you remain static, or perhaps change in directions that no longer align with your own. This creates a widening chasm between your evolving self and your external reality. Stagnant relationships, jobs, or communities. The unmoving landscape. It's a common misconception that everyone grows at the same pace or in the same direction. Your longtime friends, family members, or professional colleagues might be perfectly content with their current lives, values, and routines. They may not share your newfound desire for introspection, intellectual stimulation, or radical change. This isn't a judgment of them. It's simply a recognition of their unique journey, which may be at a different stage or on a different path than yours. You might notice that conversations never deepen beyond superficial topics. Activities remain unchanged for years, and there's a distinct lack of shared curiosity for new horizons. The energy of the group might feel stagnant, clinging to past successes or old ways of thinking, while your own energy is surging forward, eager for new challenges and experiences. This can lead to a subtle yet persistent feeling of being held back or of being out of sync. Lack of mutual growth. The widening gap. True, sustainable connection, whether in friendship, partnership, or professional collaboration, often thrives on mutual growth and a shared desire for evolution. If one person is rapidly expanding their consciousness, adopting new beliefs, and pursuing significant personal development while the other remains entrenched in old patterns, The foundational alignment that once existed can inevitably erode. It's akin to two trains that began their journey on parallel tracks. However, one has accelerated onto a different, faster route, while the other continues steadily on its original course. The gap in experiences, perspectives, and aspirations between you and your old environment becomes so significant that genuine communication feels increasingly difficult, strained, or even impossible. You might find yourself constantly explaining your new perspectives, only to be met with blank stares or polite dismissals. This can lead to a profound sense of isolation, even when surrounded by people you've known for years, because the shared understanding that once connected you has diminished. Environmental inertia, the unyielding structure. Workplaces, social clubs, religious organizations, or even entire communities can develop a resistance to change. They might cling rigidly to outdated practices, entrenched hierarchies, or a culture that no longer supports progressive thinking, individual autonomy, or overall well-being. If your personal growth has led you to value innovation, collaborative decision-making, transparent communication, or a healthier work-life balance, then a rigid, conventional, or even toxic environment will feel profoundly stifling and demotivating. You might feel like you're constantly pushing against an invisible wall. Your ideas are met with resistance, or your well-being is compromised by the prevailing norms. In such a scenario, you're essentially attempting to bloom in soil that has become barren or even toxic to your specific needs. The energy required to simply exist in such a space can be immense, leading to burnout and a deep sense of dissatisfaction. 3. A deepening self-awareness. The internal awakening. This aspect is perhaps one of the most powerful and transformative drivers of feeling disconnected from your old home. As you embark on a journey of self-discovery and introspection, you develop a much clearer, more refined understanding of your inner landscape. This heightened self-awareness acts like a spotlight, illuminating what truly brings you happiness, peace, and fulfillment, and simultaneously exposing what no longer serves your highest good. Clarity on your true needs, the inner compass refined. Before embarking on a path of deeper self-awareness, many of us live lives largely dictated by external influences, societal expectations, family traditions, peer pressure, or conventional success metrics. We might subconsciously pursue goals that aren't truly ours or engage in activities that don't genuinely light us up. But as you begin to practice mindfulness, self-reflection, or therapy, you start to listen more intently to your inner voice, distinguishing its authentic whispers from the clamor of external noise. This process clarifies your deepest desires, your non-negotiable needs for emotional safety, intellectual stimulation, and spiritual nourishment. You begin to understand what conditions are essential for you to feel content, vibrant, and at peace. This newfound clarity makes it impossible to ignore environments or relationships that consistently fall short of these core requirements. You see now with startling clarity where you need to be and what you need to flourish. The burden of pretense, the weight of inauthenticity. Once you gain this heightened self-awareness, you become acutely aware of the instances where you are not being true to yourself. To maintain relationships, uphold a certain image, or preserve stability within your previous environment, you might have unconsciously developed habits of self-minimization, suppressing your genuine thoughts, or pretending to agree with opinions you fundamentally disagreed with. This can manifest as biting your tongue in a group conversation, forcing a smile when you feel drained, or nodding along to values that grate against your own. This act of performing or pretending to maintain superficial harmony gradually becomes an immense psychological burden. It's an exhausting, constant expenditure of energy to uphold a facade. The emotional toll of inauthenticity is significant, leading to feelings of resentment, quiet desperation, and a profound sense of not truly being seen or understood. The unstoppable urge for authenticity, the soul's demand for space. As the awareness of your authentic self deepens and the burden of pretense grows heavier, the innate human urge to be genuine becomes overwhelmingly strong. It's no longer a gentle suggestion, but a powerful, undeniable force from within. When this call of your true self becomes too loud to ignore, the old spaces where you felt compelled to hide parts of yourself, or where you simply couldn't express your true essence, begin to feel profoundly suffocating. It's like trying to keep a magnificent, fully grown tree confined to the small pot it occupied as a sapling. The roots burst through the bottom, the branches crack the sides, and the tree itself begins to wither from lack of space and nourishment. Your soul, having recognized its true form and potential, simply cannot tolerate the confines of a space that limits its natural expansion. This is not about being rebellious. It's about a fundamental need for integrity between your inner world and your outer expression. The old space doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It feels actively detrimental to your well-being. The emotions of realizing you no longer belong. This process isn't always easy. It comes with a complex range of emotions. Torn. You regret the beautiful memories and long-standing bonds. You in that place might have a valuable shared history, and leaving brings sadness. Fear. The fear of losing familiarity, of losing your comfort zone. You fear being judged as disloyal or changing your mind. And more importantly, you fear loneliness when stepping out of that safe space. Guilt. You wonder, am I changing too fast? Am I being unfair to them? This feeling is especially strong if you value loyalty and connection. Simultaneously, a sense of relief and liberation. Despite the negative emotions, deep down, you also feel immense relief when you dare to face the truth and admit that you no longer fit. It's the feeling of being freed from an invisible burden. The purpose of acceptance and letting go. Recognizing and accepting that you no longer belong where you once did is not a tragedy, but a crucial turning point in your personal growth journey. Helps you develop fully. When you're no longer held back by what no longer serves you, you can freely blossom, exploring new aspects of yourself that were previously suppressed. Create space for new, more positive relationships and environments, like decluttering an old wardrobe to make room for new, more suitable items. Letting go creates space for new connections and opportunities that truly resonate with who you are now. Nurtures honesty with yourself. You don't need to pretend or act anymore. This is a time when you can live authentically with your values, beliefs, and desires, building a genuine life. Appreciate the past, but don't get stuck in it. The past is an important part of what shaped you. Cherish the lessons and beautiful memories, but don't let them become shackles preventing you from moving forward. How to let go without pain or conflict. Letting go doesn't mean abruptly cutting ties or creating conflict. It's a delicate process that requires understanding and compassion, both for yourself and for others. 1. Let go with gratitude. Acknowledge the value of what you've experienced. Even if it no longer fits, that environment or relationship once served as a place for learning and growth. Silently or openly, express gratitude to the place or people you were once connected to. Gratitude will help you transform negative energy into peace and appreciation. 2. Let go gradually, without drama. You don't need to make grand declarations or create dramatic farewells. Gradually reduce your participation and interaction in a natural way. Shift your energy and focus towards new things that align better with you. This allows both you and those around you time to adjust. 3. Maintain a benevolent state of mind. No blame, no resentment. Understand that everyone has their own pace of development. You are not better or worse than them. It's simply that your paths have diverged. Maintaining a peaceful, understanding mindset will help you avoid unnecessary conflicts and maintain mutual respect. Instead of clinging, what should you strive for? Once you've let go of what no longer serves you, the space in your soul will expand. This is your chance to actively build a new life. Seek out spaces, environments, and people that help you grow and nurture new values. Be brave and look for communities, relationships, and work where you can be yourself, where you're encouraged to grow, and where you're surrounded by shared values. Build a spiritual ecosystem that fits your current self. This ecosystem includes like-minded friends, activities you love, and sources of knowledge you crave. It's a strong foundation for you to continue your growth journey. Respect others' journeys and your own. Everyone has their own path. Wish well to those you've moved on from, and more importantly, wish well to yourself on your new path. Conclusion: growth is an ongoing journey. Just as a river continuously flows towards the sea, humans constantly evolve and transform. Not everything and everyone can stay with you on that journey. Recognizing and letting go of what no longer fits is not betrayal or failure, but an act of self-love and respect for others. You are not better or worse than anyone. You are simply moving towards your most authentic self, the person you are meant to become. Step forward with courage, for new horizons await a freer and more complete version of yourself. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.